Welcome to Wednesday's devotional. Today my devotional thoughts are all about noise, all kinds of noise. Standard, typical, everyday noise, and silent noise. That last term, silent noise, might prompt these questions. Has the pastor lost his mind? How can noise be silent? Silent noise might seem like mutually exclusive terms. At best, it appears that it might be an oxymoronic statement or term. Silent noise for me is the noise that goes on inside my head when I do things like read internet news or internet headlines, Facebook posts or other social media posts, newspaper or magazine articles, just to mention a few. You see, such silent noise produces a whole bunch of voices that go off inside of my head and keep me from true silence in order to find God's voice, His still small voice, speaking to me. That, for me, to be honest with you, is how I define silent noise. And it might just be the loudest noise when I'm trying to be silent. Have you ever tried to escape the noise of this world? Have you ever thought about escaping all noise? Is it possible to find a place on earth that's noise-free? I'm currently reading a book called Whisper, How to Hear the Voice of God by Mark Batterson. And the opening chapter contains a discussion about noise and how rare it is to actually be able to find a place on this planet that is noise-free. It's very rare. When you add silent noise that creates a ruckus in your mind, it almost seems impossible to find a place on this earth that's noise-free. Have you ever thought, where can I withdraw in my world to have silence, to pray, and to hear God? Does such a place exist in my orbit? Psalm 46 touches on this matter of stillness in the midst of the chaos of the world. Presently, the chaos in the world with this COVID virus. The psalm writer wrote these words, "God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains are moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. The nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come, behold the works of the Lord, how he has brought desolation on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots of fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted on the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress." In the middle of all this seeming chaos in the world, chaos we're currently in, God says, "Be still and know I am God." Now we're told by Luke that Jesus sought such stillness often. We find that in Luke chapter 5 and verse 16, but he, Jesus, would withdraw to desolate places to pray. Jesus appeared to seek out desolate places away from the large crowds of people clamoring around him in order to be still, to pray, to be quiet in order to listen and to hear God, which I believe has more to do with prayer than speaking, to be quiet before Him, to discern God's will. This is why Jesus could say of Himself in John chapter 16, beginning in verse 38, "For I have come down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of Him who sent me. And this is the will of Him who sent me, that I lose nothing of all that He has given me, but I raise it all up on the last day." In these desolate, quiet places, Jesus prayed by being quiet before the Father in order to hear the will of God for His coming day, His coming next hours, so that He would know what the Father's will was in the midst of chaos. This is how, just to give you one example, how His appointment came about with Zacchaeus, His appointment with Matthew, and some of the other divine appointments He had. He was in a quiet place, a desolate place, so that He could hear. I'll close with these provoking thoughts, possibly. What's the noise level in your world, including, it's prevalent to today, including the silent noise that speaks loudly in your head from things like social media and news and like that? Do you need to find a desolate place like Jesus did so that you can pray to discern what the Father has for you today in these hours? And then this thought, how much listening versus talking should we be doing in those quiet places when we find them? James coached us to be quick to listen and slow to speak. How well are you at just being still so that you can know God? As the psalm writer coach, be still. But I encourage you to analyze your noise level and make any necessary changes. Peace and blessings, Pastor Scott. Now, thanks for watching this devotional video. If you would like to see more like it, please make sure you click the subscribe button and you won't miss further devotionals and messages from Maranatha Bible Chapel. Again, if you like the video, be sure to click the like button and follow us on Facebook. Peace and love to you all, Pastor Scott.